Immigration has a long history in Tennessee, but a recent executive order from the nation's highest office threatens refugee programs here in the state.
As News Channel 5's Kyle Horan learned, one local group is asking Governor Lee to allow Tennessee to continue letting refugees in.
This apartment off Nolensville Pike is probably the most stable home Shabani Charles has had in the past 2 decades. Shabani has been in the United States a total of 3 months. He's a refugee from the Democratic Republic of Congo. He's also a U.S. citizen, having undergone a rigorous years-long vetting process, including multiple interviews and background checks.
They've been living in Tanzania in a refugee camp called Nyarugusu.
Vinod Sindayagaya is a caseworker from Salome Health. He's walking Shabani through a recent medical visit. And although coming to America is the dream of nearly every refugee, for Shabani, it's painful.
Because of the holdups that are happening, he doesn't know if his children will come or if they will not come.
Half of Shabani's family made it to the U.S., but his ex-wife and several of their kids were turned away at the airport after completing all of the requirements to resettle.
So these policies have basically separated this family.
Kwa hivyo inaonekana kwamba sheria yenyewe waliweka ilikuwa kama ya kutenganisha mafamilia. Yes.
It's a story that's all too familiar with Sindayagaya because it's very similar to his own. He's been here for 3 years, but his father and brother are still in a refugee camp in Uganda. Sindayagaya was just 8 months old when he and his family were displaced from their home because of civil war in the 90s.
Well, some people have been in refugee camps like for over 25 years or 23 years, Others were born there. So like someone who was born in a refugee camp, they don't think like much about going back to their country, their original country, because they don't know even what that is.
He's 24 years old now, going to school and working to become a doctor. But recent news that the state has to make a decision whether or not to continue to participate in resettlement worries Sindayagaya. That others will not receive the same opportunity he did.
People don't welcome that life. It just feels like they're in the dark forever.
Over the past few years, the number of refugees being allowed in was reduced dramatically.
Well, even 3 years ago, there were roughly 2,000 refugees resettled statewide in Tennessee, and this past year, the number was down to 400.
Morgan Wills is the CEO of Salome Health. The organization just put out a call across the community for people to reach out to Governor Bill Lee to allow refugees to come to Tennessee. Because for the people who are left in the camps, there's not much hope left.
They are waiting for their flight, and they were taken back to their refugee camp.
Kyle Horan, News Channel 5.
Wow, thank you, Kyle. A representative says the governor is aware of what's happening, but has until the end of the year to make a decision.